Golden sun upon the sea.
Golden sun is over me.
Ukulele melody.
Drifting on a gentle breeze.
Let the worries fall away.
On this slow and peaceful.
Hi guys, Uncle Sully back at you again. What do I got for you today? Oh, it's something juicy and wonderful, I'm telling you. It's about snacks. I think I put in, do some research about potato chips and how they will, in the long run, be your demise. No, I'm just kidding. But their health effects, I mean, they're probably not that good for you. I like them personally. I don't eat them very often. They have some that have that are cooked in avocado oil that are supposed to be better for you. And here you're in Maui, the only place you can get them. I don't know what my TV's doing in the background there. It's going crazy. You can get them with these ones. God, I don't remember the brand. And so I'll splurge myself on those. But otherwise, I try to stay away from the icky oils. You eat them and you know they're not delicious for you. But I love them anyway, don't you? Anyway, let's see what the video's got to say for you. For us, what do I have here?
Welcome to this explainer.
Holy,
have you ever...
What's going on here? Here we go.
Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever reached into a bag of potato chips, swearing you have a couple, and suddenly, poof, you're scraping the bottom of the bag? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to systematically deconstruct exactly what's happening on a chemical and biological level when you do that. We are breaking down the literal anatomy of a snack.
Let's kick things off with a pretty big question. Is that massive urge to grab another handful just a lack of willpower, or is it something much deeper? Well, looking at the data, the idea of a snack attack takes on a totally different, much more clinical meaning.
They're addicting? You mean like cigarettes and illegal substances? Well, these people... What? Pretty soon you're going to have a patch when you're addicted to chips. Oh, well, let's see what they say.
Irresistible crunch? It's literally hijacking your brain's reward centers.
Get this. A recent study out of the University of Michigan used what's called the Yale Food Addiction Scale. And they found that 14% of adults actually show signs of clinical addiction to ultra-processed foods. 14%. That is a staggering number when you think about how incredibly common these foods are in our daily lives. We aren't just talking about, really liking a snack. We're talking about biological responses that mirror addiction to substances like tobacco.
So, to get to the bottom of this, we'll be looking at 5 key areas today. The craving itself, the hidden acrylamide problem, the massive impact of frying oils, the truth about additives and ultra-processed foods, and
wow, there's a lot more involved in this than I thought it was going to be. Get out your notepad, folks. Here we go. It's a study guide. My bird.
We can actually mitigate risks.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the craving.
The crazy thing is, these intense cravings, they are absolutely by design. Food manufacturers literally engineer these snacks to keep us coming back for more. They rely heavily on fast-acting carbs and fats that just rapidly slam into our biological systems. Think about it. When you eat a normal, raw potato, your body takes its time breaking it down. But when that potato is highly processed, deep-fried, and coated in specialized flavor dust, those fats and carbs hit your gut at lightning speed. And that creates a massive...
What did he say? It was coated in flavor dust? Oh, flavor dust like that. I think I got flavor dust back in the day. My neighbor down the street named Julio. Can I get some of that flavor dust? Oh, there's a good...
spike brain's reward pathways.
Which brings us to section 2, the acrylamide problem. Now here is where the chemistry gets kind of wild. You know that beautiful, golden, crispy look of a perfectly cooked chip? That's from the Maillard reaction. But here's the catch. That exact same chemical pathway simultaneously creates a neurotoxin. There is literally no way to get that perfectly roasted, crispy appearance without triggering a parallel reaction that produces an unwanted, pretty nasty byproduct.
To break that chemistry down a bit simply, raw potatoes contain a naturally occurring amino acid called asparagine. When asparagine meets reducing sugars under the incredibly high heat of frying or baking, it inevitably produces that roasted flavor we love, but also a harmful DNA-altering contaminant called acrylamide. And the basic rule is the higher the heat and the longer the cook, the more acrylamide you get. Systematic reviews have actually linked this stuff to severe health implications, including potential genotoxicity and neurotoxicity.
I just thought it was salt and seed oils were just not good for you. I had no idea there was all this asparagine and all this other stuff happens when they cook it and it tastes good and now it's your head's going to explode. This is insanity. You're going to have to watch this thing twice.
For you. Well, the FDA suggests a very low daily safe limit for acrylamide based on body weight. We're talking around 28 to 42 micrograms a day for an average adult. But a single serving of heavily processed chips can just blow right past that threshold. In fact, lab analyses have found some commercial chips containing up to 1,939 micrograms per kilogram. There's just a massive gap between what our bodies can safely handle and what we might casually consume while binge watching a show.
Let's move on to section 3, the frying oil factor.
It kind of was a tone difference too in the guy's voice. Isn't that funny? It's all AI, but I use Notebook LM, and what it does, it goes out and researches websites and text and blogs and Wikipedia and science journals and stuff for whatever you ask it to search for. So it's doing weird stuff. So anyway, let's continue.
These chips are actually cooked in because the liquid matrix, the frying oil, completely transforms the raw potato and its health profile. When you compare common industrial oils, something like high oleic sunflower oil offers fantastic stability and is generally heart healthy. But cheaper alternatives, like cottonseed oil, carry elevated saturated fat and even pesticide risks. Clocking in at 26% saturated fat, cottonseed oil doesn't just raise bad...
Good Lord, why don't they just put plastic explosives in it too? Good Lord.
Actively contributes to poor cardiovascular outcomes. So the specific oil a brand chooses to use is a real game changer for your body.
And let's take a closer look at corn oil, which is super common. It's made up of about 59% polyunsaturated fats. Now, that might sound okay, but it heavily skews our dietary ratio, giving us up to 20 times more omega-6 fatty acids than omega-3s. While omega-6 is essential, our modern diets are already absolutely flooded with it. Frying chips in corn oil just exacerbates this imbalance, and that contributes directly to systemic inflammation, which is a huge known driver for metabolic disorders and chronic diseases.
All right, on to section 4, additives and ultra-processed foods. This is where it gets sneaky.
A lot of people reach for baked chips thinking they're the much healthier option, right? But looking at a side-by-side comparison reveals a pretty fascinating reality. Sure, baked chips might have fewer calories from fat, but to make up for the lost flavor and crunch, manufacturers often pump them full of a laundry list of extra ingredients: dried starches, emulsifiers, and added sugars. Notice the presence of sugar and corn sugar in the baked version? Those don't just add flavor, they trigger rapid insulin spikes and disrupt our metabolic health. They're basically using specialized flavorings and texture agents to guarantee the chip still triggers that hyperpalatable addictive response we talked about earlier.
And it's precisely because of those extra industrial ingredients like soy lecithin and corn sugar that these snacks earn an official classification under NOVA Category 4 as ultra...
Nova Category 4? Is that like when we're about to go into nuclear wars? We're in Nova Category 4! Get the troops out! Like, really? There is such a thing?
UPFs. If you haven't heard of it, the NOVA system is what health researchers use to categorize food based on how heavily processed it is, rather than just looking at carbs and fat. Category 4 is the absolute highest level, meaning these foods are basically just entirely industrial formulations.
Policy experts actually look for exact markers to identify these UPFs. They specifically target non-culinary...
Well, we can read that text, can't we? That's welcome to AI, guys.
maltodextrin and cosmetic additives like artificial colors and flavors. And here's the really concerning part. These are the exact ingredients frequently linked to behavioral changes and disrupting our...
Well, I'm glad they're showing us the ingredients that we can't read unless you've got a 1,000-inch TV and you can zoom in. Anyway, sorry about that, guys.
Basically, if you look at a nutrition label and see stuff you'd never ever find in your own kitchen, like glazing agents, modified starches, or protein isolates, you are holding a no Category 4 food. These are the literal building blocks of the addictive behaviors we covered at the very start of this explainer.
Finally, let's wrap up with section 5. Mitigating the risks.
Let's avoid the category 4 foods. Just the idea you have to call it category 3. Is it? No, it's category 4. I got like a hurricane.
People are trying to fix this. Food scientists are actively experimenting with some pretty cool physical innovations. Things like vacuum baking to drop the cooking temperatures, and pulsed electric field treatments, which have actually shown up to an 86% reduction in acrylamide.
They're gonna pulse electrify my potato chips. Well, thank God. Wouldn't want them to just bake them.
Even looking at selective nitrogen fertilization right down at the farm level to literally grow potatoes that have lower reducing sugars the moment they come out of the ground. It's this wild intersection of agriculture and high-tech food engineering aimed at making the whole cooking process inherently safer.
But we can't just rely on the food industry. On the legislative side, the Healthy Eating Research Panel strongly recommends Tier 1 policies to systemically lower public exposure. We're talking about things like imposing excise taxes on UPF.
Minimize exposure. Have you been to the store? There's a whole aisle of the damn things. I tried to find the ones that have like avocado oil that are supposed to be safe. They don't have them. And not the normal stores that I go to here. I don't want to talk about any specific store. But the only place I could find the one with the avocado oil was at Costco here on Maui. I don't know about you guys. Minimize exposure. Right.
These highly processed snacks in school cafeterias. Much like the counter-marketing campaigns we saw against tobacco, public health experts are saying we desperately need big, policy-level interventions to reduce the appeal, accessibility, and affordability of these foods, instead of just blaming people for a lack of willpower.
Interestingly, though, policymakers do recognize that there's a lot of nutritional nuance here. Certain foods can actually be exempted from these UPF penalties if they still provide adequate, real food.
There we go again with a microtext. Sorry about that, guys. The AI should know better. It's supposed to be smarter than us, isn't it?
Avoid non-sugar sweeteners. This is a really important distinction because it ensures foods which are technically processed but still offer real nutritional value, like certain fortified yogurts or whole grain breads, don't get unfairly penalized right alongside heavily artificially flavored potato chips. So what does this all mean for you? Well, you are now fully equipped with the objective data. You know the hidden chemistry, the massive impact of those frying oils, and what all those tricky flavorings and sugar additives are actually doing to your body. So the question is, how will this microscopic understanding change things the next time you're standing in the snack aisle? Will you look a little closer at the type of frying oil? Will you scan the label for cosmetic additives? Knowledge is power, right? And understanding the true anatomy of what we eat is the very first step toward making truly informed choices.
Dude, I don't know about you, but it's like making choices. It's like I'm going to buy an apple. That one scared me. I had no idea there were all those things. Like I said, I was just like, oh, the seed oils are a little bad. Kind of empty calories. Too much salt, maybe. But holy moly, he was saying words, calimorarides and fosalicicides and fistolimicides. And that's it. I'm going to buy an apple from now on. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Sorry about my TV in the background there. It's kind of going crazy. I don't know. It's flipping from one to another beautiful scene. That of course is my backyard. Yeah, I was just, and that's my bathroom. And right after I flushed, that's what it looks like. I'm kidding. Anyway, guys, this is Uncle Sully signing out, and I got another video for you. I got them lined up. I'm telling you. Anyway, take care, guys.
Golden sun upon the sea.
Golden sun is over